What's happening, y'all? This is Graham Powell coming at you along with Bradley Brown, co-host over here.
It's me.
Another episode of Shoe Booty Sports coming at you again Tuesday, back at our regular day. And quick shout out to our sponsor, Rhino Races. I don't believe we did that last week. It was either that one or the Christmas episode we missed it. But apologies to our sponsor, Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. How it works is you sign up for one or all 5 of their races. They're on their website at rhinoraces.com. You can run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app, screenshot your results, submit those results there on the website under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, showing proof of completion, your award will be shipped to you by mail, free shipping on all orders. Again, rhinoraces.com. Also, check out their gear section for t shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. Once again, rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races, the premier virtual running series. Okay, let's do a quick college football playoff recap. And by quick, I mean that's probably going to dominate this episode. 2 amazing games. Looks like the committee got it right. And if not, we're not arguing.
Yep.
Two amazing games. I was I'm not which I'm really not that surprised by the Georgia Ohio State one. I figured Ohio State could give Georgia a game. That I had said this earlier. The only the t- what it would take to beat Georgia, this Georgia team would be like an elite quarterback with standout wide receivers. Ohio State had both.
Yep.
Ohio State had what I think and stand by as the best quarterback prospect in this draft in CJ Stroud. And as far as I'm concerned, the best wide receiver in the country in Marvin Harrison Jr. They showed out, missed a missed a
Like
not
a
chip.
52-yard, yeah.
Yeah, it was by no means a gimme field goal. Missed badly, by the way. But
Never had a chance.
what was with the Ryan Day running the ball? Like they did that. Somebody did ask him that after in the post game presser. When they had the ball down there in that spot and they ran the ball instead of trying to pick up more yardage. His excuse was, "Yeah, we had a timeout. We saw this defense. Thought we could get a big gain out of it. Made sense. Just looks bad in hindsight."
Yeah.
But that was my thought when they ran it. I was like, what are they doing? I mean, you got Stroud. To me, you still got CJ Stroud. He's been lighting up Georgia all game. Let him go win the game. It's like I said with KJ last week in the Liberty Bowl. You're going to win or lose with the ball in KJ's hands. And you take it out of Stroud's hands. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you do that there, especially after the game that he had. Lit Georgia up, but Stetson, brought him back and got the win. Hard fought win. Wow. And the TCU Michigan game, man, I was shocked early. I did not realize how fast TCU is. Like they have some fast dudes. That one wideout that runs a 4.4, I mean, nobody was catching him. TCU surprised me. That was the game that surprised me. I thought Michigan, especially after the first play of the game, huge gain up the middle by their running back, Michigan, that is. I was like, okay, here we go. It's about to be a rout. And then you turn around and it's 21-3 or whatever it is, TCU.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like and I was like doing multiple things. I was like doing some cleaning in my kitchen, and I keep looking up, and then the score changes, and I was like, okay, I got to go back in here and check this out. Wild game, wild ending to both games. Just an amazing college football game.
Probably the best call amongst both of those games was Kirby Smart's timeout right before the fake punt.
Yes.
That was like, oh my God, he got him. He had that gut feeling and he got him. And you can't,
I think he just
no
saw
way
the
in hell you're running
formation.
it. Yeah. No. Oh yeah. Because they had that off-centered, the center was not in the center of the formation. So yeah, that had his mind churning, but man, ain't no way in hell you're going to call 2 fake punts in a row.
No, definitely not. You're going to punt
They'll
after
never
that.
see it coming. They'll never see it coming.
I mean, yeah, the game probably would have been over then, right? Had
Oh yeah,
Ohio State
that
picked
would have
that
been
up.
ball game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was two wild games. It looked to me, I mean, Kirby Smart and Stetson even addressed it. Like Ohio State probably deserved to win. They were probably the better team, and they were. I mean, they were the better team that day.
Hmm.
And just Georgia found a way to pull it off. They did what champions do. They found a way to win. TCU though, that was, I mean, like I'm not surprised Ohio State gave Georgia a fight. It's Ohio State. Well, I just addressed my reasons why, but that didn't surprise me. TCU surprised me. I did not realize. I knew they were good. I didn't realize they were that good. How well they do against Georgia, we'll discuss that in a bit. But yeah,
I don't think
TCU's
Georgia's
for
going to
real.
spot them 17, 18 points, throwing two pick sixes and fumbling on goal lines. I don't know. A
Yeah,
lot
but
of it. TCU took full advantage of those miscues on Michigan, but yeah, there for a while, man, it seemed like nothing was falling the way of Michigan there for like the first quarter. But
it's
just
true. But I mean, TCU. I mean, they still dropped a lot of points on them.
oh yeah, they like I said, they made the most opportunity, but
But they were doing
it
that
was good.
even when Michigan wasn't shooting themselves in the foot, though. I mean,
Yeah,
they were. Yeah, I mean, their offense can put up points. The Max Duggan guy. I mean, he's a player. He's a tough kid back there, man. Running and throwing it, and I mean, TCU gifted them some stuff. I mean,
true.
Duggan threw two just
Oh yeah,
dimes that ended up being picks that weren't on him. You know, one was right off a receiver's chest into the Michigan DB's hands. So, and the other was kind of similar, like off the wide receiver's hands. Boom, tipped it right there to him. So TCU kind of gifted them some stuff too that may not happen in the Georgia game. Yes, two awesome games.
yeah. You really couldn't ask for much better.
No, you couldn't get any better than that, and unless it was just I mean, unless your team was on the losing end, we didn't have a dog in the fight. I
No,
mean, I generally didn't. I found, but you find yourself like pulling for teams, you know, or I pull for like the story, like which is the better story. I found myself pulling for Georgia in that one just to, I don't know, the Stetson story intrigues me. It goes from walk on to national champion and now can be a two-time national champion. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. And this is not the same team that it was last year. They do have some of those guys back, but this is a different team. You know, you don't have, oh gosh, what's the big defensive tackles? I mean, they lost so many defensive players to the NFL. George Pickens is on the Steelers now. I mean, it's not the same team. And here they are again in the national championship and as the favorite. What a 13-point favorite.
yeah, I think
Uh,
that's what it opened up as. Yeah,
what would you take in that, by the way? You think I feel like that's a little,
that's a lot.
yeah, I'm
It's a
saying it's
lot
a
of
little
points.
disrespectful for TCU or to
It's a lot.
TCU.
I mean, it'd be worth it'd be worth the gamble. I think you get 13 points. I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah, gosh, I don't. I feel like TCU could play. I feel like it could go one way or the other though. Like TCU could play them close, or it could be like a two or three possession game. It could kind of go either way. I think
Yeah,
TCU
let's hope
surprised
not.
me
Yeah,
though. I mean, they got some fast guys. They're on the edge that are going to, or and at the corners that are going to. They could give Georgia some problems. Obviously, Georgia has speed, but yeah, so does TCU. So, who do we have? Georgia or TCU? I guess we're going to both roll with Georgia, right?
yeah, but I'll be pulling for TCU
Okay.
just because.
It's
I
a
mean,
good story.
what were they
It's a good
last year?
story.
What were they like 5-7?
Well, and I don't know, but they were unranked this year. I mean, they were unranked coming into the
I mean,
season.
it
Now they're
gives
in the
everybody
Natty.
hope. So
Yeah. TCU, I'm not really. I'm kind of like you. I don't really find myself pulling for one or the other. I really liked the purple and white helmets they were rocking. By the way, I don't
We're a
know
little
what it was
biased on
about
that
it.
one too. Yeah.
A little, but it's I just like purple in general though, and it goes well with white. Yes, we're a little biased on
Yeah.
that. But I just thought it looked cool. Thought it looked good. But TCU is a very good story also. So it's yeah, I don't know who I'll be pulling for really until I get into the game, and then I'll see. And if one goes up more than the other, I might just start like pulling for the other just to make it a game again. I don't know. I find myself doing that at times too, when I don't have a dog in the fight. But yeah, I'll go with Georgia in this one. Sounds like you're going with Georgia too, but pulling for TCU.
Like I say, I don't know about 13 points though. I'm saying Georgia by like 10.
Yeah, I would take is it the under? It would be the under then.
No, you just bet TCU with the points.
Okay. I was like, I don't know my
I
gambling
don't know what
friends.
the over under is.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I would
I'd
pick
imagine
TCU
it's
to
like
come within
59
that.
or something.
Yeah, I would pick TCU to come within that. Uh, yeah, I just want to see a good game. Really, I just want to see a good game. Think it could be that though. I don't know if there were any major injuries.
I
I
don't
didn't pay
think
any
there were.
attention to that. Okay, but all right, if George, let's just hypothetical it. What if TCU wins? Is this Duggan guy a senior, junior? What is he? The quarterback?
That I could not. Oh, he's a senior. That's what
Okay.
ESPN's saying right now. Oh, looking up the over under. Oh,
So
it's
how are
done shifted. It's minus 12 and a half, but 62 and a half points is the over under.
well, this will be TCU's first natty since 1938. And we weren't around then. Not many of us still walking the earth were around then. Probably not walking the earth, probably rolling around or lying around those that were still around. All due respect to them, or much
Yeah.
respect to them. But yeah, this will definitely boost TCU's credibility going forward. Big recruiting tool also.
Yeah. Look, it appears that Vegas has some trouble reading TCU. TCU is 10-3 and 1 against the spread, so they've beat the spread like 80% of the time
When you start the
and
year
and
unranked,
tied
you're
it
going to do
once.
that. When you start the year unranked, you're going to do that. You're going to surprise people every week. So that doesn't surprise me. All right, so if Georgia wins, is can Georgia claim to be kind of up there with with Alabama? Is it now Georgia Alabama, or
If
will
Georgia
Georgia
wins
have?
it, yeah, I think Georgia has to win like another one or two in the next couple of years for them to overtake Bama.
I just mean more so like, are you still up there? It'd be too hard to overtake Bama. I mean,
Oh
six.
yeah,
I mean,
they're up there.
Saban's
I
got
mean, hell,
six of them.
you get back-to-back natties. I mean, I'd say you're up there.
Yeah, it hasn't been done since um, Bama in 12 and 13, 2012 and 13, something like that during the McCarron years. But yeah, it's and okay. The bigger question for me, what does it do for Stetson Bennett? How will he be remembered? Like he'll go down as like an all-time great college football quarterback, right?
Yeah, he'll probably be the oldest quarterback to win a national championship too.
How old is he? That can't be right. How old is he?
He's like 26 or 27, ain't he?
I don't
I
know.
think he's 26. Yeah, he's 26.
Wasn't Chris Winky like really old at Florida State?
Yeah, he was.
I was gonna say, wasn't he really old too?
Yeah, because he did a stint in Major League Baseball, right?
No, I don't
And
remember.
then went into college football.
Yeah, I don't remember. I want to say he was up there. I don't remember a quarterback like a major quarterback being older than like Brandon Whedon, at Oklahoma State. But of course, he didn't win a national championship or anything like that. But he was like 28 or something, wasn't he? I want to say in his time at Oklahoma State. I didn't realize. I mean, I could see Stetson being that old. This is like it as far as his eligibility, right? Like he can't come
Oh yeah,
back
has to be. Yeah.
because I think yeah, I believe he was a senior last year. It just he had that COVID season, like where he could play another year, and he elected to do so. And I was saying, why not come back? You're not a big draft prospect. Come back and try to. I didn't see Georgia making it back here. I saw
No.
them as like a 10-3 team or something, because I knew they were losing so many players. But here they are, SEC champs, undefeated. They benefited from not having to play Alabama. I'm not saying Alabama's better than them because I thought Georgia was the better team all year, but you never know, man. I mean, I thought Alabama was better, would beat them again in the national championship, and we saw what happened last year.
Yep.
And Alabama looked really good in their game against Kansas State at the Sugar Bowl. Routed in that. By the way, Bryce Young and was it is it Will Anderson Jr. declaring for the draft. So no surprise there. They go out on a high note. But yeah, Stetson he'll go down as see that's another great story though. I mean, go from walk on to two-time national champ on your way out, and yeah, you're gonna go down as one of the legend in Georgia forever, and one of the greatest college quarterbacks ever. That's pretty wild considering a lot of people didn't even want him to. And I believe it was their offensive coordinator even said after that game, like we've may have been before or after, I can't remember. We tried, I think it was after, like we tried to bury this kid, and
And try to
he
run
just
him
kept,
off.
yeah, he just kept fighting. And yeah, much respect to him, man. It's hard not to root for that guy, just as a neutral fan. Uh, yeah. Okay, like when you think of like all-time great quarterbacks, who pops into your head? Like for me, Vince Young immediately pops into my head.
Talking
Uh,
about college.
Yes, that's all
Yeah.
we're talking about. College. It doesn't matter if you panned out in the pros. If you go, we're just talking college. If you go and do that, I mean, yeah, you're going to be a legend there forever in college football.
Yeah.
So that doesn't take away what you did at the collegiate level. Danny Warfel was an amazing college quarterback. He didn't do anything in the pros, but that doesn't take away from the fact he was one of the best college quarterbacks ever.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
he's got to
mean,
be. That's. It's either. I don't know, man. I'd have to like spit off either him or Cam. If I mean, if you just take off that one season, I mean,
what
not
one
a career.
season? Who you talking about?
Talking about Cam Newton, their national championship season.
Right.
But Tim Tebow, man, just for like college career. I mean,
I, yeah, I mean, has anyone had a better college career than him?
no,
I mean, yeah, two national championships,
two
Heisman.
Heisman's.
I mean, you could.
They broke the rules for that guy. They're like, oh, we can't give this to D-Mac. Heisman's don't go to sophomores next year. Hey, we're gonna give the Heisman to this sophomore guy named Tim Tebow.
Did you really think DMAC deserved it over Tebow though?
No, no, not that year. But over Troy Smith, you damn right.
I thought Troy Smith had the better. I mean, of course, hindsight. But if it was after the bowl games,
Dude,
uh, actually no, I don't. Arkansas didn't even look. Didn't they lose their bowl game too that year? But yeah, Troy Smith. Yeah, Florida just completely routed them. I mean, Troy Smith was worthy of the Heisman. I was fine with either with either year that DMAC didn't get it.
oh yeah, we knew he wasn't getting it the second go around.
Well, he was the favorite. I mean, he was the favorite going into the season, and Tim
If you,
Tebow
yeah.
just lit the
Well, I'm saying
world
and
on
when it
fire.
became voting time, yeah, just looking at Tebow's numbers is just holy crap. Is this guy even
Yeah,
human? Like,
yeah. You looked at that and you couldn't not give it to him. I mean, it was video game numbers. Yeah, when I think of great college quarterbacks, yeah, Tebow comes to mind. He's probably number one up there. I think of Vince Young. I think of Cam being up there.
Yeah, Vince Young's play against USC. Yeah, great
And see,
game winner. Loved it.
yeah,
But
like
and I'm
Matt.
not even a fan of Texas, but I hated USC more at the time. So
Yeah, I couldn't believe what Vince Young. I mean that was the best. That was the best individual game performance in football I have ever seen at any level. It was that impressive, and to do it in the biggest game of the year. Yeah, he went from I don't even know how high he would have been projected in the first round, but he goes from he skyrocketed to number three pick, like overcame Leinart. Like Leinart was the you know surefire number one pick. Had
mhm.
he gone the year prior, and then he drops all the way to 10. See, that's the thing. Like Matt Leinart, you could say he would have had the greatest college career if it weren't for that game. Had they won that game, but man, that put a stain on it. And of course, the vacated title the year prior, I believe it was. But people don't really remember that. They still won it on the field, you know. But it was,
Yeah.
yeah, Vince Young. That was the greatest, like I said, individual performance I've ever seen in football. Not just college football, in football. But Stetson will be amongst that crew. I mean, he's already going to be a legend in Georgia forever. But this amplifies it times two, literally. Two rings. Yeah, it'd be huge. I want to see a great game, and I think there's a good chance we'll get that. The other bowl games from this past weekend. Did you see the Cotton Bowl, Tulane and USC? Speaking of USC,
Yeah, I watched the end of it. Yeah, I kept flipping back and forth, and then kind of just tuned out like late in the third quarter, and I seen the score flash at the bottom of the screen. I was like, "Holy crap! What did I miss?" And to switch it back. So, where they get a safety to get
yes.
within to get within scoring distance. Yeah,
Well,
dude,
to get within,
a single possession. Yeah, to have a chance.
yeah, to make it to where you wouldn't have to go for two, right? I mean, just you score a touchdown, kick the extra point, you win, or at least you take the lead. It was they were down 14, I think, when I just kind of I had the game still on, but I was working on my computer, and then I just kind of looked up. I would look up from time to time, and then all of a sudden USC's down at their own one, and then they get the safety. I'm like, okay, well this is getting interesting. And then Tulane gets the ball, and they had they converted like two fourth downs, right? Like
Yeah,
fourth and long too. And then I just put the computer down for a second. I was like, I gotta watch this. I gotta see what happens. And then sure enough, they somehow do it. They almost got that. Like I was like, don't. I had the Arkansas game in my head. Like these officials cannot take this away from them on that touchdown that they originally called incomplete.
oh yeah.
If that were the Arkansas game and it were Arkansas that caught that touchdown pass in the Liberty Bowl officials would have been like, nope, still incomplete, not enough evidence.
I was waiting for it too. I was like, man, how are they gonna spin this to say that he didn't catch the ball?
I
Like,
was thinking that. Yeah.
he propped it against the guy's leg. That's illegal. Can't do it.
I was thinking they would find a way to say there's not conclusive evidence,
Yeah.
and he had clearly caught it. But that was a huge game. Mississippi State and Illinois it was just wasn't a good game. I mean, it was competitive, but it wasn't a good game.
No,
It wasn't entertaining at all.
no, the last closing seconds were entertaining for a couple of people who had money on it because the spread was 3.5.
Yes, it was pretty wild. That was the king bad beat that for SVP
Oh yeah.
on his little sketch for Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. But yes, it was cool to see Mississippi State win that, but it wasn't a very good game.
No.
They were definitely missing Mike Leach on offense, but they come out with a win there, so they've already promoted the guy, haven't they? The defense coordinator as the head coach.
Yeah, I think so. I think they should keep those helmets.
I mean, it was cool. I mean, I don't know how long I'm good with it just being the bowl
It's
game.
just being one game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be weird to like keep that as your helmet like going into next season. It's like, yeah, we paid tribute to coach. Now you got to move on. At some point, you got to move on, right?
Just pay tribute to him. Yeah, following season's just airing it out. That's how you pay tribute to him.
Yeah, I don't. Well, they can't do it with. See, I don't know. You can't run that without Mike Leach. Just because no, they can't. You can't do it like him. You don't have his feel. You don't have his play calling ability. You don't have his mind. I mean, he's what made that work. His brain is what made that work, and that you could you could tell they. I mean, they didn't have that in this bowl game. But and as good as Will Rogers is, he needed his coach, right? I mean, there's a reason his numbers weren't what they normally are. But it's cool to see Mississippi State win that game, especially beating Illinois just for personal reasons for us being Razorback fans. But the other one, Bama rolled Kansas State. No surprise there. But yeah, okay, all right. The other game I saw it wasn't a good game, but Penn State beating Utah in the Rose Bowl. That was another one I just kind of had on the background. Just wondering
Hmm.
if I mainly just wanted to say, all right, what's Utah's helmets? Because I love the white helmets last year with the rose on it. And then they come out with the red one this year with the rose. I'm like, okay, also dope. But if you keep losing Rose Bowls, you're a bit you can't come back with a helmet with roses on it. Like you need to go actually win the Rose Bowl before you can do that again. To me, like, that's two in a row you've lost now, and you didn't look good against Penn State. Looked outmatched from the start. So yeah, just stick to normal helmets next time if and when you get back to the Rose Bowl. I did hear some talk like surely they won't do this, but like this was just a hypothetical thrown out about especially with like NIL going on. What if like Marvin Harrison Jr. flirted with the idea of transferring to USC to play with Caleb Williams since CJ Stroud will not be there next year? Surely he doesn't do that, right? Again, hypothetical. He never said he would do something like this or do that. This was just thrown out there as it could possibly happen, happen
I
might
don't know.
what would it look like type of thing.
He might like playing on a team that has a defense, so he probably don't want to move to USC or a Lincoln Riley team.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that would be pretty badass. I mean, they would
Yeah.
light people up. But
And so his numbers would be insane because
I'm guessing to
Caleb
make room on that
Williams. Oh, I'm losing
roster, he
you.
would drop it.
Yeah, we lost you there. We had a little bit of lag there, or I did
Oh,
anyway. But
yeah,
yeah, it's yeah, he'd have some video game numbers, and that too. There was a rolling left throw that Caleb Williams made that I don't know if it ended up going for a touchdown. I think it did.
probably.
That it was just I was like, yeah, that's a Heisman Trophy NFL throw. Like that was an amazing throw that he was able to do that. So the guy's really good. It again, not saying it's going to happen. Nobody said it was going to happen, but just how it looks, yeah, it'd be pretty cool. But it's like surely he doesn't leave like an Ohio State to do something like that. But
No,
something like that might eventually happen in the future. I mean, I never thought players would sit out bowl games, you know,
true.
and now it's a normal thing that they do. Still don't like it, but it's
I
it's a
get it.
common thing now.
Yeah.
I get it. I still don't like it though. Like if it were me, I'd want to go finish what I started.
Hmm.
But I'm not in their shoes either, so I can't speak for them. Just saying what I would do if it were me. Okay, I did see today. Sticking with sticking with Harbaugh, but going to pro football a little bit here. Jim Harbaugh. Did you see where he spoke to the Panthers owner about the head coaching vacancy?
I did not see that. I did
You know,
see the rumors before the bowl games, like, oh, he might leave, might do this, might do that. And dude, after that game, yeah, I bet he is looking to get out of there. He has not won a bowl game the whole time he's been there.
yeah, but he was what 13-1 this year? Was it 12 and 13-1? Is that what they were?
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty damn good, man.
it's pretty good. I know, but
It's pretty good, and it's not like they got routed. You know, they lost a nail biter. So I heard the reports he would take like any NFL job that's offered, and
that's what I heard. Yeah,
that's
I
crazy
don't
to
see
me.
him. Yeah, I don't see him taking any NFL job.
Well,
But
he's talking to the Panthers. I mean, who do you got? You got Sam Darnold as your quarterback. You know what I mean? It's not like this. It's not like it's an amazing roster over there. It's not like he's. It's not like the Chargers coach suddenly got fired. Like Sean Payton is reportedly interested in the Chargers job. Well, I'm sure he is, but it's
I
not
thought he was
open.
going to the Broncos.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to do that if I was him for multiple reasons. But yeah, I don't know. It's the the Panthers job. You know, like some situations you're better off in Michigan. To me, I think
A
you're.
lot of situations, you're probably better off at Michigan.
Yeah. Now he may be tired of like the recruiting and doing all that because that's a 24/7 thing that he may be tired of, or he may be like, that's I've gotten him as far as I can, maybe not as far as I can get him, but I've gotten him pretty far. I've got Michigan's back. They've beaten Ohio State 2 years in a row. He's done. If he did leave, I mean, he did whatever he could, to
Yeah, I was
get
like, say,
put them back on the map,
I never expected him to win a national championship at Michigan, but I did expect him to beat Ohio State a couple of times,
and they have
and they have.
2 years in a row. Boy, how much would that have irked them though? Had Ohio State won, had Ohio State won that game Saturday, and then they go on to beat TCU and win the national championship, man, that would have been wild. That would have been crazy. That'd have been another interesting story. But I don't if you give me the Panthers job or Michigan, I'm staying at Michigan. But also Harbaugh sees himself that, as they've said, he sees himself as an NFL coach. I think he's like, I think his whole plan is probably, yeah, let's go to my alma mater for a while. Let's win some games, win some big games, and I'll eventually go back. I think he'll eventually go back to the NFL anyway. I
Yeah,
just don't know that you go back for that job. Like what, like wait for the right up. There's going to be a new opening every year. It doesn't have to be this one. And you could win it. You could win a national championship in Michigan. Georgia's, I mean, surely going to be down next year. We don't know what Alabama's going to look like. Ohio State's, I mean, you're going to have Marvin Harrison Jr., but Stroud's gone. I mean,
they
it's,
got some other 5-star, just probably two other 5-stars lined up to take his place.
yeah, but
They're not going to be struggling in talent, but
you're right. But still, like I think your quarterback's coming back. You're going to have some guys coming back. It's there. I mean, there's an opportunity there to take it. So if I'm him, I'm sticking around at least another year or two at Michigan.
yeah.
Definitely not leaving for the Panthers job. Okay, in other news, the Bucks win the South. The Bucks have officially won the NFC South. I think they're 8-8, so could be over 500. Although they'll probably rest everybody in this next one. Your seeding's not going to change no matter what. At least I don't think, because the Packers and Lions both kind of control their own destiny. That's the one I'm excited about this week. Packers, man, they've gotten it together. You know, Rodgers and crew have gotten it together. And dude, how about the Detroit Lions? This is not the same Detroit Lions team that we are used to. Dan Campbell, I've been saying it the whole time. I really hope they stick with this guy. They're definitely going to now. Um, yeah, who are you pulling for in that one? Are you?
Oh, Detroit.
I
Go
know, right? Like
Lions.
you
Go
can't help
Lions,
but
man.
you can't help but pull for those guys.
Dude.
If you don't have a dog in the fight, and I've sorry for just butchering this term this episode, but it's fitting for all of it. You can't help but pull for Dan Campbell. And the players love the guy. Like I'd be ready to suit up and roll. If I were in that locker room too. So it's yeah, I'm pulling for the Lions. They're not gonna. And to see them, what if they like won a game in the playoffs? They'd be like the they'd be like the T Wolves last year winning the play-in game.
Dude,
I was like,
we've never witnessed it, man. Like we could see it.
what? Just the Lions winning a
Just the
playoff
Lions
game?
and winning a playoff game.
Yeah, it's
Hell, just almost just the Lions making the playoffs. But yeah, the Lions winning a
yeah. I'm
playoff
gonna say
game.
Stafford got them there. They didn't do
Yeah,
anything there, but
no,
yeah, they didn't do anything there, but they got there. But yeah, they have been atrocious since. But I mean, Dan Campbell has pulled them out of the dirt, man. And not only has them competitive, I mean, teams do not want to play them with as physical as they are. And Jared Goff is playing lights out. Somebody read off his numbers, like I don't like close to 30 touchdowns to only like 7 picks, uh, about 4,000 yards passing. I mean, dude's lighting it up, man. So Lions are
yeah.
fun to watch. Um, yeah, quick thing here. What are they gonna do about the Bills Bengals game? I mean that I had the game on. That was rough to watch, man. Prayers to Damar Hamlin. He's
Yes.
still in critical condition. It goes beyond football at that point, but yeah, it's that was an unfortunate thing to see. I don't know what they're going to do there as far as rescheduling or anything like that, but I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. But we'll end things with saying, uh, I mean, big shout out and prayers to Damar Hamlin and his teammates and his family. Hope he gets well soon.
Yeah,
And
dude. First thing I checked on this morning when I woke up just to see some good news on Twitter. But
yeah, same. Or I looked at it on ESPN, but yeah, prayers to him and hope he can get through this. And yeah, but we're gonna get out of here, y'all, and yeah, see y'all next week. Deuces.